Hello everybody, Argent here. So I know there's two things that are kind of weird. Number one, I said I wasn't going to stream for a while because I had dental surgery today and my mouth is still pretty sore. The other is I said I wasn't going to cover DSP for a while because I've just been doing too much of it lately. But last night as I was coming home late from work, I was on the bus. Sorry, I'm going to have to talk fairly quietly. I just don't want to hurt my mouth too much. We'll see how long I can go for. I just wanted to talk about this a bit. But as I was coming home on the bus, the Sons of Kojima were doing the SoCast where they were basically just kind of talking about DSPs, that this is the end, because DSP finally got kicked off of Machinima, and they were saying that this was the end for him. If anyone's in the chat, tell me if my voice is okay. I'm just talking quite quietly for obvious reasons. But yeah, so this stuff happened, and whatchamacallit, DSP, they said, oh, he's left Machinima, it's over for him, he's going to have to go and do something else with his life. And so I was hearing about that, and I'm like, well, okay, I mean, let's see what's happening. So he released a series of tweets. He said, guys, this is the worst scenario ever. And then a couple hours later, he's like, I'm figuring this stuff out. Everything's going to be okay, I think. So no one really knew what happened. No one really knew what was happening. And so an hour or two ago, this video dropped in my inbox, or I guess in my sub feed, and I started to watch it. And I gotta say, I've kind of gradually, I don't know, I've never been a detractor per se. I follow DSP and the whole thing, yes, to kind of make fun of him, but also just because the whole thing's so fascinating. But over time, I think I've started to feel more and more sorry for him. Just the amount of hate people shovel at him. Like, Phil's not a good person, don't get me wrong. Phil's not a great guy. But compared to a lot of people, even just kind of ordinary people that actively are participating in evil, he's just kind of a sad man-child. And watching him collapse really hasn't been fun. I don't want to get into trouble with a certain group of people again, but a lot of people have been celebrating this. They've been talking about how Leanna's going to leave him, how Leanna's becoming a whore, how she's just fucking a bunch of people behind his back. There's a lot of celebration that this is the end. There's, I think, like real sadism in the suffering of this guy. And I guess as angry as I can be, as irritable as I can be, as much as I snap at people, I am pretty soft-hearted, and seeing this guy in pain, and this guy's basically his life falling apart in front of me, I can't help but feel kind of bad for him. And just the people talking about his girlfriend's going to become a prostitute and stuff, and it just makes me, I mean, like, DSP isn't, he's not in he's not performing post-birth abortions. He's not telling little kids that they need to get surgery to change their gender. All that kind of stuff. And just, I kind of feel the more people just get hyperbolic in attacking him, and the more they basically are just wishing for horrific shit to happen to him, the more I kind of feel sorry for him. So he put out this video, and when I play this, people in the chat, you just tell me if the audio balance is okay, just because it's hard to tell. So let's just watch this. I was actually impressed by this video. Someone in the chat saying that he lied about this. I don't know anymore who to believe. DSP is a pathological liar, but a lot of the people who hate him are also liars. The whole thing is a negative situation, but let's just start this. He seems happier in this and kind of more hopeful that I've seen the man in a long time. So let's just start. Let me know if the audio balance is
Ladies
okay.
and gentlemen, Phil here, and this is going to be a hard one. This is going to be one that it's going to be hard for me to find the right words and or to say exactly how I'm feeling or express what's going on in the situation right now. All right, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot to be said.
I haven't heard him sound this calm in a long time.
Right now, with what's going on with me, okay, a direct comparison would be back in late 2010. So for those of you who are
chat says kind of low.
My full history on YouTube or anything
Is that
like
better?
that, or what's happened with me over the years. I started out on YouTube as a part-timer. I made videos as like a couple hours a day, maybe 2 hours a day. I would record videos of gameplay. You know, way before direct capture or anything like that. I would just have a camera that I would put on the side of my TV. I would record and upload to YouTube after I got home from my job. I had a 9-to-5 office job, which quite honestly wasn't a 9-to-5 office job. It was more like a 8-to-7 office job where they expected me to do work at home too. But I digress there. I worked at this job for about 5 years, and YouTube was always my hobby. I never even thought about monetizing videos, or back then there was no live streaming like this. It didn't even exist. Okay, so in late 2010,
You should really get some decongestants. I have the same problem as him, but I take decongestants.
No hints, no kind of even. Let me give you perspective. I worked at this job for 5 years, and a month before I got laid off, I got a recommendation, an actual piece of paper that said, "We are commending you for going above and beyond the call of duty at your office job." Here it is. Then the whole company restructured, and within 1 month of that happening, they laid me off out of nowhere. Now at that time, I had just bought a condo in Connecticut. I had a car payment. I had all this debt in my name, and there was no real jobs in the industry that I was doing. Aeronautics is what it was, helicopters and stuff like that were hiring. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. What happened is I came home and I sat.
Now, a lot of people attack DSP over this whole thing, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like giving this guy a break and kind of, I guess just like I said, because of how hyperbolic some of the people who are attacking him are. So on this point, people attack him that he got laid off and he didn't get another job. I graduated from university sometime around the time period he's talking about. And that was an extremely difficult time in terms of employment. The financial crisis was happening. A lot of companies dramatically cut their entry-level work and kind of the bloat, I suppose you could say. It kind of, what used to be was they would take a chance on someone, they'd bring you in, and they do a lot of training. And now the focus is largely that you have to come with all the skills. The companies don't want to spend time on training. They don't want to pay for stuff. I'm very fortunate where I work because there is a focus on training, and the idea is we'd rather train people to do things than hire contractors, which is what I'd do if I ran a business. But my point is, I do actually sympathize with him here, and the whole giving you a like an award for good service right before firing you sounds like something a sleazy company would do.
Down on my couch, much like I'm doing right now. Well, this was an old brown couch back in the condo in Connecticut.
For those of you who haven't gone through for those of you who haven't gone through a lengthy period of unemployment or haven't kind of been fired, this situation is like really hard. I understand why people commit suicide.
I'm going to talk about how I feel. I'm going to disclose what's going on, and I'm going to see what happens. And at that time, I just kind of bore my soul. And that video ended up going viral not necessarily super viral, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of people watched it. And that pretty much spearheaded the entire movement of people saying, we would love to see Phil do YouTube full time. Phil's the underdog. He's the guy who just does gameplay videos for fun. He does it a couple hours a day. We see him, he toughs it out at work and he comes home.
Guys, if you give me $70,000 a year, I'll do YouTube full time.
Right? And we really want to see Phil be successful. And it was since then, it just exploded. I became exponentially popular on YouTube for vlogging. At first, it was funny because at first, I had no idea what I was going to do.
I was watching his old playthrough of Heavy Rain. And
So I didn't
it
know what
actually
I
was
I had
really
a vlogging
good.
channel, and I monetized the vlogging
It's
channel,
kind of
and that
sad
vlogging
how
channel
much
blew
worse
up,
he's gotten over
and then
time.
YouTube took the ads off of it, saying that it had grown so exponentially with views and people clicking on ads and stuff, there's no way that it was legit, and they kicked me out of that. Then I went to Blip TV, a competitor of YouTube's, because they allowed monetization of gameplay videos, and I was kicked off of that website within a month. Admittedly, you know, I'll look back now for doing stupid shit. You know, I made some jokes and things on there that were racist, and honestly, were they funny? Yes and no. They were funny if you took it in regards to me knowing that I was not a racist and I was just doing it as a parody of something that happened on a radio show, the Howard Stern show. But in retrospect, I can look back now and say,
okay, I gotta say, the Dead Space 2 playthrough was super based, and I give him a lot of credit for having the balls to do that. It's especially funny that he got shut down over that. It's literally a meme. Shut it down! Shut it down! But I give him a lot of props for that. That was actually really funny.
hey, man, did I fuck up? I should never done stuff like that, especially when you go to a new platform like Blip.
Yeah, it was kind of stupid,
Why
but
the
it
hell
was
did
awesome.
I do that? All right. So I screwed up. I got kicked off of Blip TV. And, you know, in retrospect, maybe that was a good thing because guess what? Blip TV doesn't even exist anymore. They went out of business. Okay. And then eventually what happened was I got partnered with Machinima. There was a person on YouTube who I had been in kind of almost a few.
By the way, I hate what fucking pussies these companies are. Oh, someone did something politically incorrect. We have to get rid of them. I mean, this is kind of my issue when mainstream conservatives are like, oh, companies are great. We love private industry. Private industry is, in many cases, a lot more left-wing than the government is.
Food with over gameplay and stuff. And at that point, he was big with Machinima, and he was working for Machinima. By then, it was a big partnership company, this big MCN they're called. And basically, he got word of what
I'm
happened
never
with
going to
me and
side
all the
with
stuff
an
that I was going through, and the
MCN.
fact that I was trying to make a
Sounds
living doing
like shit.
video games and videos for YouTube.
The only thing I
whatever.
could do is
And
maybe
he
do like
contacted me
movie
personally and said, here's
commentary
what I'm going to do. I'm going
tracks.
to put you in contact with you know, someone at Machinima, and we'll see what we can do. And it just so happened, it was like the perfect timing, the perfect storm, okay? It just so happened that at this time, gameplay videos were being monetized on YouTube
Okay,
for the
I'm
very
just going to
first time.
speed this up. It's just this life
Because
story
of
again.
a reason, which I can tell you the reason. The way that it works, when you sever a contract with a partnership company, one of two things can happen, all right? Either that company is a pain in the ass and will drag their feet and won't release your channels or whatever from the agreement, which has happened with a lot of partnership companies. I've heard a lot of horror stories out there about people who've partnered their YouTube channels with the company and they didn't like the company or the company didn't like them. You know, either way, it goes both ways.
I was looking
But the
this
company
up.
basically was
Partnership
kind of dragging their
companies
feet
are
and would not
cancer
sever
in
that partnership
general.
agreement, which was a nightmare.
The only
for
good
content
thing they do
creator,
is protect
because then
you
can't
from,
go to the company,
copyright
You can't seek out a new
bullshit.
deal or whatever. You know what I mean? And you're kind of
YouTube's
stuck in
copyright
limbo.
system is
And you don't
shit.
know, gee, now this company doesn't even like me. Are they going to pay me or whatever, right?
Sorry to keep pausing and just bring this up. I remember really early on, I did a reaction review of Dracula Untold, and I used just like a still frame of the movie poster and talked over it, and I got a fucking copyright strike. And yeah, so I got a copyright strike, and they shut down my ability to live stream, and they shut down my ability to upload longer than 10-minute videos for like a fucking month. When it was a review where I encouraged people to see the movie, that I used no footage even from the trailer. Fortunately, they've kind
So
of made
here's
it
the
better.
deal. Here's the truth of the matter. I can't tell you the specifics, but here's what I can tell you. Basically, my contracts with Machinima are over. All right, now I have all 3 channels on YouTube partnered with Machinima. DSP Gaming, which is my main bread and butter. It's where I put all the raw gameplay every single day. That's the big money maker for me. The King of Hate Vlogs, which has always been my ongoing vlogging channel, but has never been any kind of a significant income source. That channel, at most, makes a couple $100s a month. Okay.
I love how a couple $100 a month isn't
It's only been there for a
significant
year.
income.
I'm doing edited content
I'd
on
love
it,
if
and it's
I
at
made
highs
a
and lows.
couple
Sometimes
$100 a
profitable,
month.
sometimes it's not. It all depends. All 3 of those channels have been partnered with Machinima. All right. Well, those partnerships are ending. Now, the way it works is there's a contractual agreement between myself and Machinima where they can't just end it and I can't just end it. Literally, we can't just say it ends right now. The contractual agreement states that there's a time period that my channels stay partnered, okay? And so those time periods have to expire. And once those time periods expire, what will happen is the partnership status, the managed partnership status will be removed from my channels. And basically, I'm a free agent again. Which means there's nothing wrong with my channels. It's not like, you know, nothing bad against the copyright strikes, nothing like that at all. But what happens is advertisements obviously are gone, and then it's up to me to make a decision.
Speaking of MCMs, I've thought at one point of maybe trying to start like an edgy, like an alt-right MCM and get like Millennial Woes and Rainy and like a bunch of other people on it. But when I looked it up, there was no actual reason to start an MCM because MCMs don't really do anything.
All right, what I want to do with my channels. Do I want to, number one, just go completely freelance, meaning I don't want to partner with anyone. I just want to be myself. And what I would have to do is apply for the YouTube AdSense program on my channels, try to get advertisements approved for the channels independently, all right? So without any partnership, there's a loud noise outside. Sounds like a giant truck. Oh, I know what it is. They forgot to pick up our recycling yesterday, so they're probably coming right now to do it, I bet. That's what it sounds like. Yep, that's exactly
Let
what
me
it
just
is.
turn
So
the
you get that
speed
feedback.
up a little.
All right, anyway. So I could be a free agent, meaning I totally decide to try to do this on my own. All right? I don't partner with anyone, and I basically try to just put ads on my videos for myself. Okay?
That's what I do.
That is incredibly risky. All right?
It
For a
works
big
pretty
YouTuber,
well for me.
if I were making millions of views on every video that I put out, it would be a lot less risky. And the reason why it's risky is a couple reasons. Number one, because of YouTube's content ID match system. If you're not aware, YouTube has a system in place where when you upload a video, it auto.
I don't really think you get content ID on video games anymore.
Content, etc. Things that basically are.
I haven't in a
copyright flagged in the
long
system.
time.
And if you have anything in there, if you have a song playing in the background of a game you're playing that happens to be copywritten, and the company
okay, that
uses
is
the song
bullshit.
or distributes.
No, what is bullshit if you're playing like GTA or something, and there's like a song within the game. You get copyright struck for that.
The song,
That's true.
It has a deal with Machinima to basically not have that music in anyone's videos. Your video will get flagged, and therefore you'll have no advertisements on that video and make no money on it at all. That's number one. That's one of the biggest issues. Number two would be Nintendo. Nintendo claims everything on YouTube. Everything.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
Nintendo are kind of dicks.
If you're not in a managed partnership. Okay?
I mean, they let
Managed
Philip
partnership
use
means that
their
your partnership company you partner
characters,
with is
but,
vouching
yeah.
for you and saying, yes, we believe that this person is making legal content, therefore you cannot claim them for
Okay,
whatever.
this is
all right?
just him rambling.
So therefore,
Let's
if
go
I,
on a
you know,
bit.
if I have with Machinima expire.
Once
which I will
again, my
explain
voice is too quiet. Tell me,
coming
and
up
I'll turn
with
the
time
mic
periods and
up.
everything like that. Okay, so without a partnership with anyone, if I'm independent and I just put ads on my own videos, there's high potential that if a copyright strike comes through or whatever, that I won't be able to get help. I won't have a direct contact with YouTube. Yeah, there's an email address you can write YouTube for help, but more than likely they're just going to say, you just got to adhere to the standard copyright appeals process, which is 2 weeks, and yada yada yada. So there's a big risk if I go into this. When these contracts expire with Machinima, if I just decide to go into this for myself and put ads on my videos independently, there's huge risk involved. All right, so obviously.
Why does he
Could be
take so
partnered
long to
with
say
another company,
everything?
All right, but no matter what, I can tell you this: no matter what happens, all right, no matter what happens, I'm going to make less money again. And I know this is horrible because already I'm in a situation here where last year, for some reason, YouTube changed something and my views dipped out of nowhere. Okay, and ad revenue was already down, and we don't know why. And I was working on trying to get an answer on that when all this happened behind the scenes with Machinima. And now that my contract with Machinima is expiring, okay. No matter who I go to, no one's going to give me as lucrative of terms that I have with Machinima. That's the bottom line.
There.
The reason, I'll be honest here.
That's Mighty Machines.
There's a lot of times when I've been unhappy with them, okay? And I don't necessarily talk about it publicly because the bottom line is they're my bread and butter. They're the ones paying me, right? So even though there's some things I wasn't happy about, I just didn't necessarily come out here and vent in a video about it or whatever.
Sorry, he's not saying anything important. Someone in the stream is asking, how am I? I'm in a fair amount of pain. I had a gum graft done. If you don't have any idea what a gum graft is, they basically cut a bunch of flesh off of the roof of your mouth and graft it onto the gums around your teeth. So yeah, this is the 4th time I've had it happen. I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's just painful and
there have been
takes
many
a while.
times during my tenure with 6+ years with Machinima that there's been reasons why I wanted to leave them. In fact, I almost left them twice. I was in talks with other companies twice to leave them because of stuff that was going on behind the scenes.
Okay, let's speed up.
Every
He's
single
just
time,
rambling.
I have issues with them. They didn't have issues with me. I wasn't ever in a sponsorship opportunity that was sour or anything like that. None of that. So there was no reason for me to want to quit Machinima. But let's face it, it's 2017. Does anyone talk about Machinima anymore? No. And you say, you look at partnership companies and you hear about all the other big guys. Who are the big guys out there now for gaming? You hear about Full Screen, you hear about Curse, Maker Studios, although I've heard that Maker Studios is falling apart and they're going to lay a bunch of people off. Holy shit, that's terrible. But you hear about these big companies. What was the other one? There's Broadband TV. There's, there's one other big one too. There's one other really big one. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully this will get more interesting a bit
later. And I choose to get partnered with a new partnership company. I'm going to be making less money because no one's going to give me the lucrative terms that YouTube was giving me. The good news is that the terms that Machinima gave me works great anymore. Over the years, when I first signed with Machinima, oh my god, they were giving me the world. They were giving me insane amount of money for the videos. They were giving me bonuses. Like I said, they were flying me to E3. And when I first got signed in 2011, they signed me, and then within like 6 months, they announced a bonus program by which they were going to pay me tons of extra money and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, this is great. Why the hell? I'm so happy I went with them. And then they took away the bonus. They reduced that contract. They reduced that contract again. Then eventually they got me out of that contract, and they put me into a contract very similar to what everyone else has right now on YouTube, which is basically ad-based. Which everyone knows. Everyone has contracts based on ads, okay? And so that's been in effect for about a year now with them, and that's very finicky, up and down, depending on how ad revenue is.
Okay, sorry, guys.
Me being partnered with them, never provided me industry contacts, never really provided me with information in regards to gaming releases, and very rarely did they ever provide me with anything like an advanced copy of a game. And I know for some people who are partnered on YouTube, you're like, what, really? Yeah. Like, it was a rarity. It was through 202015.
I love how he says this like it's a mystery, like, oh yeah, Machinima kind of fucked me all these years.
And I only ever got
I wonder why I never did anything to fix it.
Fallout 4. I only got all of that for a very short period of time, and then it went away again. You know, and it is what it is. You know, I think what it is with Machinima, and again, this might be with a lot of companies, I don't know.
Oh boy, he got to go to E3 once.
One day, Machinima might have this giant
no one gave a shit about, and they gave him Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is kind of shitty anyway, so...
We're going to fly them to E3, we're going to support our partners, we're going to post their videos up on our main Machinima channel. It's all about the partners. And then 6 months later, they completely get rid of that idea, they lay off all the people who are on that team, and you don't have contacts anymore. I'm not even kidding you, this has happened many times since I've been with Machinima. I've talked about this before. The industry standard, which everyone is doing pretty much at this point. Almost every company, when you sign up with them new, they're doing exactly the same thing, okay? So that's really not an issue when it really comes down to it. It seems like everyone's going about it the same way and paying about the same amount. And it's not that big of a deal. But really, for me, it would be, can I have someone who I have an issue I could talk to, right? Or if there's a big new game release,
here's the thing, just that I didn't understand about partnership companies. I figured like one of the things that they do is they would negotiate for better ads. I figured like they would negotiate with, I don't know, Revlon or EA Games or something like that to get better advertising, like specific exclusive advertising, or to get better ad revenue. So when I found out that you actually make less ad revenue, the whole thing just didn't really make sense.
So maybe I could do some advanced gameplay of it, because like I said, especially with my way I want to do my schedule moving forward, I want to have a day off a week, so maybe I could play a game early and have videos to have go live that week or whatever. You know what I mean? These are all things that are factors and things that have been going through my head, all right? But primarily for me, the reason why I think I need to be partnered again on YouTube, once these contracts with Machinima expire.
Okay, let me just go ahead.
I'm really terrified.
This is really boring.
Even though I've got over 40,000 videos on DSP Gaming and over 50,000 videos on the internet, any money-making potential for those videos could overnight be removed, all right? So I'm thinking it through logically. I think I have to re-partner my channels with a new partnership company, okay? But there's a problem. And this is a problem. There's two problems, actually. Really, there's two problems here. And this is really what's keeping me up at night. All right, this is why I couldn't sleep last night. Right, all right? Honestly, this is the real talk of why I couldn't fucking sleep last night. Sorry.
I don't know, guys. I still think he sounds more genuine. Okay, so someone is talking about YouTube's cut. Okay, so how it works if you work for a multi-channel network is they take all the money that your channel makes and then they pay you directly. So in Phil's case, Machinima took 100% of what his channel generated and they gave him, I don't know, like 90% of it. Or they take all your money but they pay you a specific RPM. So, yeah.
Number one, the first thing that's
but it's always less.
Is knowing what's going on right now. With
the idea is that the other benefits
and everything. Even if I get a new partner, okay, with a new company right away, and it's not a big deal, and I jump right into another one. What's to stop this from continuing? Like, my ad revenue was already down for February. Now, Machinima suggested a fix. They said upload shorter videos, upload 10-minute videos instead of the 20 to 30 minute videos.
I still think he sounds somewhat sincere in this. Okay.
I'm focused just on the negative, right? Make it out that to me I'm a horrible person. So let's face it. You know, me trying to get partnered with another company, I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think that's going to be an easy thing at all. I think that what's going to happen is, you know, I apply for a partnership, and they look at the channel and they say, okay, the channel brings in millions of views and all of that, and then they're going to search and they're going to see that there's all these people who constantly say negative shit about me, and they're going to say, well, you know, this is now an executive decision. Do we take the not necessarily the chance, because the bottom line is all it amounts to is trolling. When you really think about it, all it amounts to is fucking stupid trolling. People trolling my videos, trolling the comments. stuff like that. The bottom line is the false copyright issues on YouTube are done. Like, those are gone. You can't really do false
Oh,
copyright
by the way, if
things
you're confused,
anymore,
he's talking about
because
his
YouTube
issues
safeguards
with
in place to
partnering
stop
with
that, which is a
another
great thing.
network.
So, what I'm worried about, and this is real talk, okay? What I'm real worried about is that a company, any company, would look at me and say, well, here's a guy who's been on YouTube for 8 years, made a living for 6 years with his current partnership company, they had a falling out or whatever, he still brings in big views, but there's this negative element that follows him around. And by God, if I
there's
try,
definitely
let's think about all the things that I've
element.
done over the years to try to get, first of all,
I mean, this is kind of the thing. Like, regardless of what DSP does now, he's kind of fucked. Because if an employer Googles any of the shit he's done over the years, or any of the stuff that people have said about him, he's going to find it almost impossible to get employment. Now, I'm somewhat sympathetic because there's a lot of people who do a lot of shit that they don't get fired for. Largely because it's like politically correct shit. Like, I'm sure you can go and like riot and like burn stuff down and that's okay. But, yeah.
There's fucking weirdo groups that follow me around and shit. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't bring it up unless I have to. Unless there's a reason that's directly affecting myself or my content. I never bring these groups up if I can help it. But when I see shit, like, for example, just the other day, all right, I see people trying to tweet Twitch support to get me kicked off of Twitch because...
By the way, guys, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I'm not saying Phil's a good person. I'm not saying he's not lying. I guess I'm just trying to, give a bit more of a balanced opinion of this. I don't know. I'm in an empathetic mood this week. I'm on the depressive part of my manic depression.
Okay.
Oh, I normally get really kind of touchy-feely.
Oh my God. Phil mentions bits. That's asking for bits, and that's not allowed. And we have to fucking spam Twitch like crazy to try to get Phil kicked off of Twitch because he's making money on Twitch, right? Now, keep in mind, almost every fucking Twitch streamer mentions that. Most Twitch streamers mention it way more than me because they're constantly giving thank you shout-outs during the content, all right, for bits, which I don't do. I don't interrupt my videos. I don't interrupt my content. I don't do that. All right, I'm here to give you gameplay, and all that other stuff is periphery, so if you support me, great. I'll take time out during a break at the end of the stream to give you a thank you, but I'm not going to interrupt the raw content of gameplay, which is why you're here, to give thank yous, right? And constantly be promoting bits, give me bits. No, I do it for one small segment before I start, and that's it. So, but that's what I mean. People behind the scenes going, oh, I gotta get kicked off Twitch and shit like that. And this happens all the time. So, you know what's going to happen, no matter who I get partnered with. These people, this element, are going to go, and they're going to go to their social media.
Okay, and this is something a lot of people say, like, oh, we're just trying to help Phil. We're just trying to get him to improve. We're trying to call him out on his stuff. We're not actually trying to destroy him. And I mean, people say that, but I think it's pretty obvious they're actually trying to bring him down. And I mean, you can like that or dislike that. But I do think Phil has a point here when he thinks that there's a lot of, basically, a conspiracy of people out to destroy him. But yeah.
And they're going to go everywhere, and they're going to spam and attack and do stupid stuff and say, I'm a horrible person, and how could you partner that guy? When in reality, those who have followed me for 8 years, and those who have been along the ride, and those who actually watch my videos, and know the actual stories behind the spin that they put on it to make me look bad, know that none of the horrible things that they say about me are factually true, that what they've done is they've taken maybe a small thing and spun it completely out of proportion, or took it out of context. You know what I mean? Oh, well, those people just take those videos of Phil, directly what he says, and that's how they make him look bad. Yeah, but they don't put it in context. That's the point. Anything said out of context could make you look bad. If there's a specific situation going on, I make a statement that normally if you just say the statement sounds weird or sounds inflammatory, but if you put it in context of the situation, right, then it makes sense. But that's the thing. People don't have time for context on YouTube. They take that little out of place.
Well, the context is generally worse when we're dealing with Phil. I mean, if you actually hear like the real story behind Project 7, that I think is one of the single most devastating videos I've ever seen, was when John Rambo and Howard talked about it. Because John Rambo, I don't find the guy particularly funny, but he is like a really kind of down-to-earth, sincere guy. But just like, you can tell he wasn't trying like directly to slam the guy, but he just kind of reluctantly told the truth of the matter. It was just devastating. Now, I'm going to say something just briefly. I do actually, unironically like Phil's reviews. I actually think his reviews on KO Gaming are pretty good.
So, what I'm honestly really nervous about is, yes, I will, I'm going to seek obviously partnership with another company, and I'm seeking a company that's going to work with me, that's going to have a good relationship with me, that we can work together, on stuff. And that's kind of, again, that's what I was missing from Machinima. I never really felt like we were a team. We were working together to be successful. It was more like, well, you partnered with us, so we put ads on your videos. Now you're off on your own, and that's not a way to operate, in my opinion. In my opinion, it should be a team. You're working together to be successful. You try. If you need help, you can get it. Maybe sometimes you can get into promotional events, or you can get advanced copies of games and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I never really had that, so that's what I'm looking for. But I'm terrified, honestly, that when I go and I try to partner with a new company, that they're going to immediately look at the negative element and say, well, yeah, you got money-making potential, you've been on YouTube for a long time, you've got a hardcore fan base that supports you, and you're going to get views, but you've also got this big negative lump over here, right? And are they going to want to deal with that? You know what I mean? And I'm nervous. I am. I'm really, really nervous because I can't control that. There's no way that I can control that, right? I can't control that big negative element. I've tried my damnedest. If anything, you would think that embracing this is how you don't play and understanding that at its heart, that this is how you don't play movement when it started was meant to just basically make fun and laugh at how bad I am at games and to show that, I'm pretty much, when I'm playing a game and I'm sucking, in particular those original ones. Some of the worst games I ever played, I ever did better. Not the worst games, some of the games I did the worst at. Like the Metal Gear Solid series, right? All that. Oh my god. I mean, I didn't put any effort into trying to figure out how to play those fucking games. I just flubbed through.
Okay, I'm going to be perfectly honest. If Phil actually still did playthroughs like his Metal Gear Solid ones, I would actually watch them. They're absolutely hilarious. Like, the running joke of Kojima being his arch nemesis is really funny. The Kojima World Order, like, taking a WWE song and being like, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, Kojima World Order, I actually thought was hilarious. Like, he had running jokes. Like, I think he was actually pretty funny back in the day. And I mean, it was cringy, but it was cringy in, like, a really entertaining way.
Through them, and I sucked at them, and people spun that into a hilarious movement. And I get that. That's why I've embraced it. That's why I'm saying, okay, you want to get your video featured, put it on my channel. I'm okay with those kind of videos. But the thing is, then look at what it's become. This huge, nasty thing where people are personally insulting myself and my girlfriend and my family and everything I've done on YouTube, and they make up slander and, basically anything to make me look like a horrible human being. In a lot of ways to hurt me. Because that's what it is. A lot of these videos and or the things that people say about me are intentionally done to be slanderous to hurt me. Not to laugh or to make fun or to make me try to improve like a lot of people claim, but a lot of these things are there to hurt me. So I'm nervous that a partnership company would look at me and say, well, tons of potential, right? Tons of money-making potential, but there's this negative element that comes with it, and we don't know if we want it. You know what I mean? Not to say, again, that it's ever going to really rub off. Just think about it. In all the years I was partnered with Machinima, did being associated
like
with
I said, I was trying to avoid doing DSP videos for a while.
And it won't.
It's just this guy constantly
I would
does
end up
it.
with, it would not affect them at all. It's just stupid
like, it's just, I don't know, a lot of people seem to really like my take on it, because I guess I'm a bit less vicious than some groups. But, like, I wasn't going to do this. It's just, yeah.
Bullying, people tweeting them stupid shit. You know what I mean? And, you can comment, dumb comments and stuff. That's all it amounts to, is that there's movement of people who are going to troll. And that's really all it's ever really been. But there's some companies that don't want to deal with that kind of shit, right? So what I'm hoping is that kind of talking about this publicly and explaining my situation to everyone here, that hopefully, someone out there watching this video or this stream, okay, maybe you work for one of these big partnership companies or a partnership company that's willing to, take a shot, all right, that you would, talk to them and maybe have someone contact me and give you a chance.
This is so sleazy.
Because I'm nervous. I'm very nervous right now.
I should start doing this.
Because I only have a limited time.
Hey guys,
just to give you an example.
I should start eBay.
This is going to affect everything. Right now,
it would go against
remember,
everything I've
said
over the years, but I should.
The King 8 vlogs and KO Game, it doesn't matter. Those contracts are going to expire soon. All right, but it doesn't matter because I wasn't really making money on those anyway. If both of the partnerships go away on those and I never partner them again, I'm out a couple $100s a month. That's not a big deal. DSP Gaming is the focus. DSP Gaming is the channel that needs to be partnered ASAP because, as you know, that's the one I'm putting out the continuous gameplay and all of that. Okay, and if that doesn't get partnered right away, what am I going to do? Like, you can say, oh, you can put the videos on KO Gaming. Yeah, I could for maybe a couple weeks, but then that partnership runs out. So then what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, I need to have something in place right away because I'm nervous of what's going to happen here. You know what I mean? So the deal is, and this is being real, I need to find a partnership company. If I'm going to keep doing this, right?
Okay, guys, I'm going to try. I'm sorry.
Eventually, I'm not.
This guy just rambles on
YouTube
forever.
and all of that. Because for years, people have said, Phil, why don't you get a part-time job off of YouTube? Why don't you have another job like YouTube?
Okay, someone's referencing the empty box giveaways. I think I still have it up where I did a parody of that for my New Year's giveaway. And, okay, so someone's asking about the empty boxes. Okay, so what DSP used to do was he would trade in every game he beat, but he'd keep the boxes if it's the collector's edition. So then he'd give away the empty box. So like the steelbook case and maybe that kind of stuff. So it would just be like, he'd be like, we're giving away Dark Freaking Souls content. And like he'd do shit like that. So I actually did an empty box giveaway on New Year's where I took like my Dark Arkham City box and I was like, here, you can have it and you can have the code. Oh wait, I already used the code, but you could use this plastic box.
You should have an office job.
Okay, here we go. Let me just, I think this is where he actually starts talking about something interesting.
For maybe a couple weeks, but then that partnership runs out. So then what do I do? You know what I mean? Like I need to have something in place right away because I'm nervous of what's going to happen here. You know what I mean? So the deal is, this is being real, I need to find a partnership company.
Let me see if I can find
Even if I'm going to
this.
start doing this part-time, let's say eventually I'm not going to do this full-time anyway, I end up getting a job or whatever outside of YouTube, and I do this part-time. I still need to find a partnership company for DSP.
Wait a minute. I just realized I'm on my computer. I don't have to post links. I can just show you guys this shit. Like I can just show this right
what
here.
Is up, everybody?
Okay, here we go. Here's some of the boxes.
To the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway of 2013. Alright, the very first item I'm giving away is Deus Ex Human Revolution's Collector's Edition content. So let me show you what exactly that is. This is Deus Ex Human Revolution Collector's Edition.
God bless the internet.
Very nifty
I can just show you guys
box.
this shit.
On the inside, comes with a few things. First of all, Collector's Edition packaging. As you open that up, you're going to see the game's gone because I traded it in years ago, but it does have
What?
a second
The game's
bonus disc
gone?
that probably has the behind-the-scenes content and stuff like that, okay?
This is not a joke.
Have
He
that
literally
autographed
did
by me.
this.
Pretty cool, right? And welcome to week 2 of the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway for 2013.
Did he really give away a
I'm more than
fucking
willing to sign
empty
Deus
box?
Ex. However, I looked
Yes.
inside of it, and it looks like it's all dark. Everything's black. So it probably makes more sense to have me maybe sign a few business cards and stuff. So Felix, when I contact
Business
you,
cards.
just respond back and let me know if you want me to include some signed business cards.
Signed
with
business
this.
cards.
Hello, everybody. DSP and Panda Lee here, and welcome to the Week 3 drawing and the Week 2 announcement of the winner for the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway of 2013.
And if it is shitty, it's your fault.
It's my fault. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we will be giving away Dark Freaking Souls. Now keep in mind, I want to clarify, this is not the game. The game I
Not
actually
the
traded in
game.
several months ago. Because obviously this is a game that will live in infamy when it comes to my playthrough of it. You know, I played it, I made an honest college try to beat the game by my own. I couldn't do it. I was too annoyed by the game. Came back 2 years later and on live stream, you know, cooperatively with other fans and viewers, went through it and did finally beat it. Of course, there's always the whiners who are going to complain about the way that I did it. All right, everybody, DSP here, and what is up? It's time for the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway.
The Hardcore
Again, we're
Gaming
gonna
Season.
Pick the Week 6 winner for the Puppeteer on PS3, and then we're going to actually pick what's going to be the next giveaway. Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition, but the game is not in it. So the winner,
game's not in it.
For full disclosure.
Dude, guys, this actually
No game.
happened.
However, you get this really cool steelbook case. What is up, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome.
Like, and he did
to
this a
week
bunch of
9
times.
of the Hardcore Gaming Season giveaway. All right, well, it's not a very good one, I'll admit. Nino Cooney, Wrath of the White Witch.
This is so
came
lame.
with a really unique and awesome steelbook case. Look at this, full anime drawing artwork, metallic. On the back, there's more, and on the inside, it's fully animated. See that fully decorated with artwork from
The
the
game isn't in
I
it.
already traded in the game.
You traded the
What is
game
up,
in.
everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to Week 11, Halo 4's Collector's Edition content. Okay. This one is unfortunately not good. I did redeem the other.
You redeemed it.
This stuff I already redeemed, so that's no good. But you'll get the card and
I redeemed.
you'll get the case right here. Let me see. Unfortunately, I traded the game in, but
Trade the game in.
Halo 4 Steelbook case as well. Right. I'm going to be doing the biggest giveaway ever that I've ever done, and
The
you won't
biggest
believe
game,
what it is
biggest
when I finally
whatever.
tell you what it is. Starting in January, and there's going to be eligibility both on YouTube and on streaming. I'm going to be honest, people on the stream are going to have a little bit more priority if they're a paid subscriber, okay? Because basically everyone's going to be able to enter on the forums, and paid subscribers are automatically entered, but they're entered into a much smaller pool, okay? So, I'll explain more about this.
Okay, let's get back to the main video. Yeah.
Gaming, very.
I just wanted to take a
I'm
field
talking
trip
a matter
because
of
people
days,
just
alright?
won't believe
So,
that. I
what I'm
didn't
saying is
believe
kind
it
of
till I
I've already
saw
applied
it.
to a couple of them, but more than likely what's going to happen is
I
they go to a
still
standard
don't
process
believe
or
it.
whatever, which I know what's going to happen. They're like I said, they're going to look at, oh, there's good money making potential, but wait a minute, I searched for him on the internet and here's all this negative stuff about him, right? So I don't know if that's going to work. What I really need, sadly, I need hopefully someone who's watching this to look and say, damn, he's got an 8-year legacy.
Okay,
oh,
let's
this,
see.
you know, some people say this guy sucks, and I'm not going to get partnered with another company. Okay. That's really my concern.
Just referencing something in the chat, maybe like one time, because I keep forgetting that I can just directly stream now. I'm so used to like using shitty Google Hangouts. Maybe sometime I'll just get like a compilation of like the worst of DSP and just share some of this stuff. But yeah, the chat's saying I still don't believe he gave away empty game places.
Now, let's talk outside of this realm of partnering on YouTube and all of that. Because for years, people have said, Phil, why don't you get a part-time job off of YouTube? Why don't you have another job like you used to have, an office job, and then go ahead and do YouTube as a part-time thing? I could do that. The problem is, again, there'd probably be a significant dip in income. But, I am currently in a lot of things going on where I'm trying to get rid of my condo in Connecticut, and that would be a significant amount of money that I'm not bleeding every month to something that I get nothing out of. Pretty soon, I'm getting rid of my car, which is too expensive, and I'm going to get probably a cheap, car. So that is going to be a significant drop. So maybe I can make it work, but the problem is, where would I go to get a job? Let's say off of YouTube, if I were to go out to the in real life and apply for jobs. Well, first of all, I used to do customer support for one company, but I haven't done that for how many years, right? Same thing with continuous improvement, which I actually had a certification. I had a Achieving Competitive Excellence certification for continuous improvement, by which I could take.
That is like the most corporate bullshit thing ever. Yeah. So people are asking in the chat, did Phil actually get like physically removed from Machinima? Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Companies and process map out their processes to find bottlenecks and stuff in the process.
Once again, guys, sorry I'm low energy. I just kind of wanted to cover this because this was a big event. But yeah, still recovering from surgery.
To let them know this is where you need to improve and do stuff like that. I can do all that. I can still do that. I still do that today. I can do it easily with a process, anything, right? But again,
continual improvement. Continual improvement. I could improve businesses. Yeah, let's look at his track record. Basically, from the start of his business, it's gotten progressively worse the whole time. Jesus Swaggy in chat says I will pray for him. I've unironically actually have been, because I don't know, I love your enemy, I guess. Well, he's not really my enemy. It's just so sad. It's just sad and depressing. I just don't even know what to say about the whole thing.
Haven't done it for some 6 years.
The condo
So
thing
you're
is
talking in a
so
very competitive
stupid.
market, by the way, because
He could hire a property management company.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs, but there's also a lot of competition, a lot of young people out here. And I've already kind of looked into it. There's a couple sectors where I could probably go into, okay? But they're highly competitive. And at this point, it's going to be very, very difficult for someone to hire me over maybe someone else who's been in that field right away. You know what I mean? Someone who hasn't, he's done YouTube for 6 years as a job and hasn't done anything in this field for an elongated period of time. I don't know if anyone's going to give me a shot, So that's what I'm nervous. Like, when I was 6 years ago, when I got laid off from my job, there were no jobs in Connecticut in that sector, okay? But at least if I were to apply for a different kind of job that were completely different, starting from the bottom, as they say, at least a potential employer could say, well, here's someone who's had consistent employment experience since, forever. Now, sadly, what you have this 6-year gap. This 6-year freaking gap where you're going to say, well, he did his own thing for 6 years, but he's not in practice anymore. Basically, I have to learn from the beginning. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't know what would happen. In addition, and this is being real, it wouldn't work because right now, Leanna has a part-time job, and she constantly is using the car to go back and forth.
Okay, now I'm going to be a little sympathetic about this. And I'm always kind of sympathetic whenever we're talking about people and searching for jobs. Because as I've talked about, and if you go back to some of my older videos, I'm really fucking depressed. I'm talking about, like, killing myself. I went through a period of almost 2 years where I was completely unemployed. I would try it every day. I think I applied to, like, over 2,000 jobs. I went back to school a couple times. I tried to get more education. I went through dozens of interviews. The whole thing is just, it's very difficult. Companies normally these days want a really highly technical skill set. And it's often a big risk. Like, to get the skill set, you have to go to school for a long time and spend a lot of money and take on a lot of debt. And I had done my undergraduate is an undergraduate, which, if anyone ever wonders, I did my undergraduate in political science with a minor in philosophy, and then I went to graduate school. Although I'm not going to be too specific, but I have 2 graduate level certifications in my undergraduate. And I still couldn't get a job because most jobs, a lot of white collar jobs these days are like masters only, masters in like 4 or 5 years experience. And you have these HR bitches, and they're like, "Oh, there's a gap in your resume. That means you're unemployable." No, it largely just means it's very difficult to deal with a lot of these things. And I do have some sympathy. And let's say Phil did a 180 tomorrow, and Phil, like, realized all his mistakes. He got his life on track. He was ready to go into work with a good attitude. No company would hire him
For the job. She works a good 5 days a week.
even without his personal stuff. They just wouldn't hire him or give him a chance.
Hours that are around hers or hers around mine? It won't work. Our jobs aren't going to give us special schedules. And I'm sorry, I can't afford 2 cars. It's just simple. I can't. She can't afford a car on her salary or her pay from the job that she makes, and I can't afford 2 cars on what I'm making. So even that, he's public transportation doesn't work. We actually tried that. We actually tried the public transportation out here for a while when we first moved out here before Leanna could actually drive, and it's terrible. The buses are very inconsistent. Some days they don't show up. They break down all the time. It's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna once again. I know people are probably gonna get irritated that I'm being kind of sympathetic. But just as someone who's dealt with some of this stuff, I mean, it's easy to just say, like, oh, why doesn't DSP do this? Public transit sucks in a lot of places. I know to get to and from my job, it's like $80 a week, and it used to be more than that. It used to be like over $100 a week. And that's kind of par for the course in Toronto a lot of the time. But no, I think just to keep that in mind, it can be really expensive and really difficult to commute. No, it's hard. Working is expensive, and that's kind of one of the good things about his situation was he shouldn't have really had a car if he had a car like a cheap car, because he doesn't need to commute to work. So I can understand that. I can also understand that you can't afford to work. Okay, so people are talking about seeing the FAP video, so we're going to watch the FAP video because that's what people want. Let's see here. I just... This is a why moment. Okay, so I think this is the... Oh, okay. No, that's not it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is the... DSP tries it, creating quality content. Okay, let's see here. Look at that. Oh boy. Look at him changing the porn on his computer. Okay, let's see. Where is the part where he's actually jerking off? I'm just trying to find it. This whole thing is really long. There we go. There it is. Look at that. Oh my god. Like, look at this. This is just... Oh. If his dick hadn't been on screen, this probably would have been the complete end of his YouTube career. Yeah, so there we go. Oh, oops, that's the wrong one.
A couple years ago, she was actually, going to driving school to learn how to drive a car. And
like, why would you do that there in front of a camera?
The bus would be late or break down.
I don't know.
And it's like, what? Yeah, it's true. So how are we gonna have a job where half the time I'm gonna be late to the job or not be there because the buses don't work? You know what I mean? It's terrible. And it's the thing. Everything you need. It's every solution that I look to, or everything that I look to as here's what I could do, or here's what I could do to fix the situation. There's a messed up thing that screws it up. It throws a monkey wrench into it. Okay. So that being said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's not that I'm against.
I mean, like, he is just exaggerating and unwilling to do anything, but also he is just fucked. Like, no matter what he does now, he's fucked.
For job opportunities. But right now, it's not even viable. Like, I couldn't even get to and from the job on a daily basis because of everything. And, I don't know what to do at this point.
Look at how white his beard's gotten.
Within a matter of days,
he looks like 20 years older than he is. I think he's 35, but...
And if I can't get DSP Gaming under a new partnership
like
contract
he's like 50.
within a matter of days, I will not have any... Well, let me rephrase that, because this is the good news. I will have income. The problem is the income will be way lower than what I need to pay my bills and keep afloat. I will still have Twitch, right? I'll still have subs on Twitch. I'll still have people cheering for me on Twitch, which is awesome. And I do want to say thank you to those who come to my streams every day, who watch this. I mean, look, right now I've got a ridiculous amount of people watching the stream for all the wrong and right reasons. Let's be honest here. There's people who are concerned, there's people who are just laughing, which is, whatever. It is what it is. That's the world. That's life, right? When you make your life public, you're gonna have people who support you. You're gonna have people who don't want you to succeed. So you get that out. I knew fully when I made the stream today this was gonna happen. But I want to say thank you to those who come to my streams every day on Twitch, who cheer, who sub. You guys have given me, I'm not even kidding you, you don't even know, a significant new revenue source. Where right now, if everything goes south on YouTube, at least I know I can get some revenue from Twitch, okay? And I'm going to talk in a moment, because I'm now going to explore the third option, which is, what if I don't focus on YouTube and I focus on Twitch? So I'll get to that in a moment, because I think people want to hear about that. What if Phil just became a full-time streamer? Some people say I should just quit YouTube and become a full-time streamer, okay? Going to talk about that in a moment. But thank you to those who are here on Twitch and enjoy my stuff. Since I came back to Twitch in November, I've had nothing but positivity. Like, seriously, I love doing it. The interaction with the people in the stream chat, I love it. I'm happy that I came back. And I'm happy that, again, my own stubborn ass, right? I know how I am. I'm very obstinate. I'm very, very fucking thick-headed. And if I get an idea in my fucking mind, I will not adhere from that idea. I will not depart from that idea. I get stuck to it. And in my mind, streaming on Twitch was bad. And, people told me for 2 years after I quit Twitch, to come back, that it had changed, it was better, that there were other things that you could do, and it was a better environment, and there were new ways that would make sense to go back to Twitch, and I wouldn't listen, because I was a fucking, just really, really, just an asshole about it. I admit that. I was an asshole about it. I didn't want to hear it. Even though everyone was saying Twitch was great, I didn't want to hear it. I was in my own little fucking bubble, streaming on YouTube, and even though I wasn't making any money doing it, and less people were attending the streams on YouTube daily, I didn't want to hear it.
See, I honest to God can't tell if he's being sincere here. Like, he's more relaxed. I mean, he kind of sounds defeated, but he also sounds kind of relieved that this whole situation is just, yeah. I mean, I think he kind of is admitting fault here.
When you have success, you think that you're doing it right? And then sometimes when the success wanes, you don't want to change the way you do it, and that's a big problem with me. I probably admit that, okay? But coming back to Twitch was a great fucking idea. It gave me a new revenue stream. I'm making money doing it. I'm having fun doing it. People like it. So I'm going to talk in a moment about doing Twitch full-time. We'll explore that in a moment, okay? And of course, I have to say thank you for Patreon. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years ago, I started using Patreon. When all of a sudden I saw things going wrong on YouTube with copyright strikes, with all kinds of shit. Patreon is the reason I'm still here. If I didn't have Patreon, I wouldn't be here. I said this a million times before, I'll say it again. So I have to say thank you so much to those of you who support me on Patreon. Seriously, like, you have no idea how much that helps, and the fact that I'm still here. 2 years ago, I would have just moved to Washington, and within a year, I would have had to quit YouTube if I didn't have it. So thank you for that. And I know everyone has a Patreon now, but for me, you have to understand, for me, I was in that situation, that bubble, with Machinima and this lucrative contract that I had with Machinima, that I didn't have to ask for donations, I didn't have to ask for anything. And for me, it was just, I just make videos, you watch them, and that's it. And when I had to adopt Patreon, that was a huge step for me and a huge change. But for the most part, I think what's going on with YouTube, with Patreon is very positive, right? We've got events that happen that are fun and unique and different. Think of all the things that I've done since I adopted Patreon that were all events that people told me I should do. Play Minecraft. Oh my God. Did that ever open? Again, another thing, dumb rock-headed Phil here, who thought that Minecraft sucked and didn't want to listen to anyone, and then I finally played it, and I liked it. I thought it was actually a fun game, and I understood why people enjoyed the game so much, right?
So, if what people are saying is, in the chat is true, and he's making this all up, which is possible. I mean, he is a pathological liar. But, I mean, if Phil's, like, being legitimate here, is lying, I guess he kind of realizes that it's just, maybe he realizes he has to kind of try to admit fault a bit and to try to be, like, a bit self-deprecating to try to deal with it. I don't know.
Different playthroughs, like Yakuza. Right, Yakuza that I never played. Persona that I never played before. These games, marathons. I've never done a marathon before ever. And now doing these fun marathons of indie games, tons of indie games that I've been exposed to now that I never would have played if it weren't for Patreon. You know, all this stuff that came positively out of Patreon is awesome and amazing. So I want to say thank you to those who are, supporting me on Patreon. So even if in this week coming up I don't get immediately partnered with a new partnership company, okay, I'm still gonna have revenue. The problem is it's not going to be enough to even pay my bills. Like, I know it won't. I will have to pick and choose what bills get paid and what don't. And my credit is going to be terrible. And it's not going to be a good situation. Let's put it that way. It's just not. It's not going to be a good situation at all. All right. So, let's talk. Let's talk again. The third option. The first option would be I have to basically get my YouTube channel partnered with someone else right away. But I don't know. I really would like.
I admit I'm kind of tempted to give him money on Patreon and encourage other people to. Just because imagine if this guy disappears. Like, what are we all going to do?
But he said this negative element, and we're going to accept that and just accept it.
I don't know.
All right? Because I'm afraid, I'm deathly afraid that I'm going to get turned down by companies and they're going to say no because of that element. Okay? I could try to get another job, but I don't know how I would even make it work. I don't have a car. I don't have a car that I could go to and from every day. No matter what, it's not really gonna work. I can't really get an in real life job right now. I can't. If I was making enough money where I could afford, 2 cars, then yeah. But no, I'm not in that situation. If I lived, another thing, if I lived right down the street from a major company where I could walk to work or take a quick bus or whatever, yeah, but I'm not. A lot of people don't realize this. I don't live in Seattle. I live on the outskirts of Seattle. So I couldn't even get a job in Seattle. To get into Seattle, I have to drive 45 minutes. So I can't even get a job in Seattle. I'm kind of on the outskirts of the industry and everything. And so that's the problem with that. So now let's talk the third option. All right, let's talk the third option.
Why did he decide to move to the suburbs of Seattle? I don't know. I probably would have tried to live... I don't know.
All right. The third option is going all in on Twitch. All in. Meaning, yeah, I still have YouTube, and yeah, I'll maybe upload videos to YouTube or whatever, but YouTube isn't my main focus. I really try to primarily focus on being a Twitch streamer. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I don't know if I can even do it. And what I mean by that is, from what I've heard, I don't know because I've never done Twitch full-time. For me, Twitch is 3 or 4 hours a day streaming, and that's it, right? From what I would understand, people who stream full-time, they really kill themselves, all right? Like, they are streaming, some people 8+ hours a day, constantly, all right? The stream, like I've said, isn't focused on the gameplay. The most popular people who stream on Twitch today, the streams aren't really about the games they're playing. It's about the personality of the streamer. It's about interaction with the stream chat. It's more about that, all right? So potentially, what this would have to be is I would have to stream on Twitch, and when I'm streaming, number one, doing a ridiculous amount of streaming. So doubling down. Instead of right now streaming 3-4 hours a day and then doing other stuff, and all that would have to go away.
Sorry, just a side note, if people are wondering why I'm quiet for certain parts, it's because I'm talking to the chat.
So it would be 3-4 hours of streaming, take a break for dinner, and then another 2-3 hours of streaming after. So it would be 6-8 hours of streaming a day. All right. The amount of content all right, that I would, or the type of content, excuse me, that I would have to change. Right now, when I play a game, I'm focused on the game. I'm picking this up and I'm playing the game.
Well, not really focused on the game.
And I'm not really looking at stream chat, although I do every once in a while.
I mean, I guess to me, one of the biggest issues I have, and I've tried to watch some of Phil's playthroughs, other than the fact that he's just boring as fuck, is that he just clearly doesn't like it. He doesn't really enjoy it. He obviously just hates the game, and I find that's kind of an issue. I mean, I find this with movies a lot. Like if you've seen Ender's Game, the movie, Harrison Ford does like the most phoned in role I think I've ever seen in a movie. He just doesn't give a shit. He's just like, where's my fucking paycheck? Al Pacino's like that in every movie he's in, because Al Pacino's gotta eat. Yeah, so then there's movies like where you can feel like the cast had a lot of fun making it. But yeah.
I look at the stream chat and I'm like, okay, here's what's going on. Or every once in a while, I'll react to something that someone says in the stream chat, right? But primarily, what I like to do, two things. Number one, by having a stream going and the stream chat open, I can tell that the stream is obviously working properly. Because a lot of times things will go wrong, audio goes out. Now I can't tell that. Just sitting here and playing or streaming, I can't tell that. If I look at stream chat, they'll all say, Phil, the audio's out. And oh shit, and then I'll go try to fix it. That's number one. But number two, I love to see the live reactions. When I say something or do something when I'm playing a game and something happens in the game, I love seeing the live reactions.
Well, but he doesn't. I mean, this is kind of the issue, is Phil's just boring. Like, if I was going to do this, I think I would be a lot better at it than him. If I was going to be a professional gamer. Because I'd be, like, talking about the plot. I'd be talking about history. If I was playing, like, Dark Souls and not just, like, as a background, I'd be talking about weapons. I'd be talking about, like, the history of it. But he doesn't talk about anything. He's like, oh, look, it's a rock. That's so lame. Oh, look at that. He doesn't talk about the genre. He doesn't talk about history. He doesn't talk about anything. He just doesn't care.
That happened, okay, between me and my audience. I love that live interaction. You don't get that on YouTube.
No, he doesn't interact with his audience.
I would sit here playing, and then I would have to wait out.
Okay, I'm starting to get angry at him. Something that pissed me off was the whole Twitch and chill thing. Charging your viewers to interact with you really pisses me off. It's just, I don't know, that's something you should be doing for free. That's one of the reasons I like doing these live streams. As I said, like, you have a long day at work. You go home. Someone's wondering why this is going fast. I'm playing this on like 130% just because he talks so fucking long. But, what was I thinking about? I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, you come home after a long day of work. You don't really have time to go out anywhere. And I come home and I do a stream and I get to talk to people in chat. And it's a lot of fun. It's nice to interact with the chat. And just to kind of talk to people. But,
hours to even see anyone to watch the video and get a reaction out of it. It was like a big disconnect. Now I feel way more interactive and way more social because I get to see those reactions right away, and I love that, okay? But I have to change my content because, basically what people are saying is if you're going to be a full-time streamer on Twitch, you cannot just do the gameplay like I do it. The stream has to be about the viewers. So, yes, I'd be playing the game, all right? I'd be playing the game, but at the same time that I'm playing the game, I would have to constantly be interacting with the stream chat, looking over here and be saying, "Oh, someone."
I mean, his commentary is already shitty.
Reacts to something going on.
He doesn't. He just says, "Look, it's a rock that's lame." So just shouting out, I think, would be just as bad.
Sadly, this is this and this, and then the game's gonna take a back seat.
Also, why the fuck is he wearing this like ugly like white see-through T-shirt? I mean, doesn't he have like some cool gamer shit to do? I don't fucking know.
Which is what most of these popular streamers on Twitch do. I don't
know, like, what shirt would I wear if I was doing this? Like, maybe my Man of Steel t-shirt. I have a couple Evangelion t-shirts. I have my House Lannister t-shirt. I have some other ones. I have some, like, decent looking. I have a couple ones I got from Italy. Whatever.
Someone gives a shout-out. Whenever someone gives a bits... All right. Whenever someone subs, I'm gonna have to find a way to have an integration where there's a pop-up that says thank you to so-and-so for cheering, thank you for subbing, or I'm going to have to stop and do it myself, right? And turn and say, gee, thanks for, thank you for the shout out with the stream. By the way, everyone is trolling me right now. Literally, everyone is trolling me right now in the stream chat saying there's no audio. And I know there is because people said no, they're trolling. There's audio.
What a life when, your only fans are just people who stick around and lie to you because they like to manipulate you. He really is a modern Chris Chan.
But, yeah, that's what I mean. What I do would have to change completely.
No, well, you don't do shit anyways.
I don't know. Let's say, for example, this week, coming up, there's lots of new games, right? We've got Zelda. We've got, the continuation of Horizon.
Watching DSP playing a Zelda game must be the worst experience possible.
Constantly, right? I don't know how that would be accepted. Would people embrace that? Because I know a lot of Twitch streamers like that, or a lot of Twitch viewers like that. But I don't know that it's going to translate for me. You know what I mean? And it's going to be a huge learning curve because I've done this for 8 years. Say that again. I've done this for 8 years in a certain way. All right? And that's going to be huge for me to completely change the way that I'm putting out content for a new audience, really, because what I'll be trying to do is appeal to a wider audience, to the common Twitch viewer, and say, come on in, my content's completely changed, it's a more interactive deal now.
I mean, look at this guy. Does he ever bathe? I don't know, maybe it's just my, Anglo-German background, but if I don't, go a day, even 2 days without a shower, it's, yeah, I just really don't like it.
Be different. Now, again,
I don't like feeling greasy. I like to be clean.
If that were to be the case, and that's what I did, okay, and I became a full-time streamer on Twitch, all right, my YouTube presence would probably dwindle because the bottom line is, yeah, people love to watch
YouTube presence already is dwindling.
When you see the videos I'm uploading,
if you're not going to do editing, then live streaming is probably the best
with chat 95% of the time.
Okay, just we'll get through this. I don't even know what the second half of this is. Guido says, I don't know how people do not shower every day. Well, you live in Brazil, so it's probably especially necessary just because of how freaking hot it is. But one person says, I shower every 2 days because my hair falls out. I'm not trying to talk about how often people bathe. That's not really my issue. It's clear Phil never bathes. It looks like this man bathes maybe once a month or less. It's just,
and not really focus on the game I'm playing.
It's
people
gross.
are going to lose interest. They're going to say, well, I've watched Phil since 2008 because he plays games and he does playthroughs and he's there, and this is going to show me a raw example of what the game is like, right? And his reactions to it. When all of a sudden that changes, more than likely I'm going to lose a lot of viewership on YouTube. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I might go up on Twitch,
people in the chat,
actually start getting
this guy's 35. I know it's weird that people are watching this on YouTube, but people in the chat, doesn't he look much older than 35? Doesn't he look like he's 50 or something? He's so stressed. He's really prematurely aged.
People coming in and and doing bits and cheers. And
his hair's falling out.
The Twitch situation could be great, but then my whole YouTube situation could end up not being so great. Okay, and that would be bad because I don't want to. Obviously, no matter what, if I do decide to do Twitch full time, okay, then I'm going to still keep YouTube. I'm not going to get rid of YouTube.
Guido says he thought he was 40-something.
You got to have videos on multiple platforms or whatever. You got to diversify. But would it be enough?
Yeah, people are saying he looks like he's in his late 40s.
This would have to be
he really does.
2 to 3 weeks of me doing this on Twitch. I would have to have an audience that's coming back consistently, that's cheering consistently, that's subbing consistently, that's participating, so that I'm making the money that I was making on YouTube. Right now, the money that I'm making on Twitch is good. But it's nowhere near what I was making on YouTube at all, okay? I was making way more on YouTube. But it's good because I got Twitch, I've got Patreon, and I've got YouTube, so between all of that, I'm able to make ends meet.
Technically. I had one of those Kickstarts once. It was fucking awful. No, his sideburns aren't even. It's not just you.
So, that's kind of the deal with me right now. Let me summarize for you. I'll summarize. I know I've been talking for over an hour now, all right? Right now, I'm basically in the same situation that I was in 2010 when I got laid off from my job, my office job. I don't know what I want to do with my life, with my future. I'm in a unique situation here, where there are many options, but none of them are glaringly the right option to take, and it's a very risky venture no matter what I do. I could try to get partnered with another company on YouTube to replace Machinima, whose contract is going to run out within a few days here, okay? But that's going to be a tough endeavor because the company basically has to say, okay, yeah, DSP Gaming's been around since 2010. It gets a lot of views and it can make a lot of money. But at the same time, there's this negative element that follows Phil around that he's tried to shake. It doesn't work. And we know there's going to be a negative element. So do we want to take on that risk, right? Even though that's not a risk, I've already said it's trolling is all it is. But some companies see that as a problem. And I don't know if a company's going to take me under their wing and partner DSP Gaming now when you have that problem. Okay, that's number one. That's one option I could take is try to get one of these major partnership companies to partner DSP Gaming again. And then when they're partnered, back to business as usual, usual stuff, streaming, playing, and everything as it was, right? And pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Let's skip
I can't pay
ahead
the bills,
a
and I
bit.
can't pay my mortgage and everything. Already I'm trying to get rid of the condo in Connecticut, but that's awful. I mean, this is a really bad situation right now, all right? And it's not like I have rich parents that I can ask for money all the time. I don't have any.
His parents are wealthy, actually.
Anyone who can really help me out in this situation. So I either need to get DSP Gaming partnered right away within a couple days here, or I need to find another solution really quickly. And by the way, another thing about finding a job in real life, I'm not going to get a job really quickly. It's probably going to be months and months of job search. So in a way, that's not even viable either. It's really my choices here are get DSP Gaming partnered again right away, or go into Twitch streaming full time. Those are really my options, okay? Okay. Now, obviously, if you're watching this, you see the shit at the bottom of the screen. I mean, it's kind of funny. This literally has nothing to do with this. I'm not even kidding you. While all this was going down with Machinima and all this behind the scenes, all this shit,
why is he reading his cell phone during a video?
Right.
That's really,
was working with me to set up a merchandise shop. Nothing to do with it. It wasn't like, oh God, things are going wrong with YouTube and Machinima. I need to set up a merchandise shop. That's not even what really happened. Like, it all just kind of came together at the same time, and it's so weird. But I got a merchandise shop up. Check it out. There's the link. It's live already. A bunch of people.
Okay, his merchandise shop is it kind of pisses me off. Because what I really wanted was I wanted a shirt that says, "It is what it is, nothing I can do, but I digress." I actually would have paid $20 American to buy it. If there was a shirt that says, "Nothing I can do," I would unironically, I would actually buy that. Because "Nothing I could do" is hilarious.
Bought stuff, which is cool.
It is what it is. Nothing I can do.
Before this happened, I ordered 2 shirts. So I'm actually going to have 2 shirts from this shop to show off in videos coming up soon to show you what they
His
look
shirts
like in real
look
life.
like shit.
Well, obviously, this happened before.
They have nothing
this
to do with
here.
him.
And what the hell? What timing, right? That's obviously one cool way. If you want some cool merch, by the way, way better than the stuff that I ever came up with. Take a look. It's all fan submitted. Cool logos, sayings of mine from over the years, artwork.
No,
cool
they
stuff.
don't have
and people seem to
sayings
like
of
it. So
his.
check it out and give it a look. All right. That's obviously one thing you can do right now if you're a fan of mine. And you're here, you're watching this, you're like, oh shit, what the hell's gonna happen with Phil? And you're nervous.
His shirts weren't even funny. There's so much shit you could do that was funny with Phil.
You guys and gals know what's going on with me.
But they're the worst.
And I've only said for 2 years, right?
I guess he can't use
Kojima's
Kojima's name.
Gave me
but,
$1 a month on Patreon. I would never have to worry about YouTube ad revenue. And that is the
If
truth.
everyone just gave
everyone who watched my
$1.
videos on YouTube gave $1 a month for it. I would not even have to care about if ads run on any of my videos. I would have to worry about content ID, none of that. Right? But that's not the real world. In the real world, other people have their own lives, their responsibilities, and not everyone can contribute and not everyone can afford that. And I totally understand that. That's why, some people say, I actually have people who write me and they say, Phil, I'm like one of your biggest fans, but just so you know, I apologize, I really want to help you out, but I can't. Dude, listen, you never.
Will there be Argent
have to have the
shirts?
feeling
Nah,
to
I'm way too
apologize
bad
to
at
me.
graphic
Seriously,
design to do
I have had
that.
great
It took
life
forever to
respect
make
for
my
years on YouTube,
logo,
doing
and I'm
this
not
for a
in a
living.
rush
I'm
to
happy
make
that
another
anyone
one.
watches my
Okay, someone's asking if there's going to be Argent shirts. Well, I announced the ASS or ASS, the Argent Surf Submissions Program. So if people want to submit designs for, shirts for me, and then I will put them up on Teespring, and you can buy a shirt with the design
content and enjoys
that
it.
you
And that
made.
there's people out there that got meaning out of it, okay? I'm one of the luckiest people. It sucks that I'm having a tough time right now, but you do you first. And then, if you watch my stuff and you hear what's going on and you want to help, then you consider Patreon. You gotta understand that. No one owes me an apology. I mean, I read these messages sometimes and people are like, Phil, I love your stuff. I've been watching you for 6 years, and you really got me out of 2 times in my life when there was really depressing stuff going on. I watched your videos and they cheered me up, and I really want you to succeed. Heart-wrenching stuff. And I appreciate. That's why I don't want this to go away. That's why I need to find a fix for my current situation. And the bottom line is, I really do feel like exactly like I did in 2010. When I lost my job in 2010 and I got laid off, I came home and I was crushed. I was fucking crushed. I didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't, because I didn't know what was going on.
Okay, this is one of the things that irritates me about DSP. He acts like the fact that he makes these like shitty videos for YouTube is like some great service to humanity. I mean, it's not. He makes gameplay videos. Does he ever talk to people? Okay, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I had like a mental health stream a couple weeks ago, and there's a guy who was in his teen years who was like, Argent, I have a problem where I cut myself if I do bad on a test in school. And he's like, is there something wrong with me? And I told him, I'm like, dude, you gotta go see your doctor, go talk to him about it. Just immediately, as soon as you can, go talk to him. And I convinced the guy, I hope, to go seek medical help for his, like, self-harm. So, like, that is actually helping someone. I'm not trying to, like, toot my own horn, but that is, and people have said, like, your stuff on mental health, that it has helped me. But DSP doesn't help anybody. He makes shitty video game videos. They aren't even entertaining.
Would I be able to even make money on YouTube? Keep in mind, back then you could.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, he helps people because he shows them that their lives aren't as bad as
monetize gameplay videos on YouTube at all. You couldn't. And for me, I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. Honest to God, what I thought was going to happen was I was going to lose my condo, I was going to lose my car, I was going to lose all my possessions, I was going to have my condo repossessed, I was going to have to go move in with my parents and live with them again and basically make nothing for myself, never have a life of my own, because I was going to be stuck with them in a generation where there's not any jobs, and I was going to basically be screwed. That's what I thought. That's on the back of my head. That was the nagging feeling I always had. But when I made that fucking video, I got so much rallying support from people. Phil the underdog. Here's the guy who, has done YouTube for years, never made a penny doing it. We love him and his personality, and we want to see him succeed. And I did. That is crazy that it worked out that way. I never fathomed in my wildest fucking dreams that I would be doing YouTube and streaming and all this for a living. It's crazy to think that it came together like that. It's crazy to think that anyone does this for a living, quite honestly. But for me, and by the way, keep in mind that when I did it, all right, I was one of the newer people to do, one of the first people to actually do it for a living. Yes, there were people who did Let's Plays way before me. There were people who did live streaming, of course, way before me. But to do the kind of Let's Plays that I did, which was commentary over gameplay, right? And to monetize those videos and make a living doing it, I was one of the first people to be able to do that on YouTube ever. I was kind of like a trailblazer at the time. And then
he was a trailblazer.
Jumped right in. Of course, now the current climate we've got on YouTube is completely different, right? Way different. So I'm pretty much in the same situation, okay, right now, that I was in 2010. There's no clear-cut answer of what I could do, right? And if you remember in 2010, all right, if you remember,
this man can repeat himself and ramble on about nothing better than any human being I've ever seen.
That went away in a month.
I mean, just look at, like, he's just going on.
That went away in a month. Then I got the Machinima partnership. So
I mean, he just talks about his fucking life story
someone did a cheer
every time.
Or sub, and it popped up. I have to interrupt what I'm doing. And therefore, if I
like
were
he's talking,
to keep uploading videos to
like he's talking, I have to change my gameplay style. I have to go out and just talk about this stuff again. Well, it's just fucking constant.
Question, do you need to drive your own car? Because I don't know that answer. I don't think they provide you a car. You drive your own car, right? I'm almost positive.
What is he looking at?
You do use your car, but if you... fuck.
What is he doing?
Scroll up the screen. You do use your car, but you do it whenever you're able or willing. Your own hours. Okay. So basically, I would only take fares when the car was here. Gotcha. Like I said, for local stuff, I'd be fine with that. My problem is if anyone needs to go on the highway, I can't do it. It's too much of a risk. That was actually one of the things that initially when I was diagnosed with my back injury, my doctor said, he said, there's some changes you're going to have to make, and one of them is going to be driving long distances and driving on the highway. You got to basically nix them because those are things that will stress your back, and or if you end up having a spasm or pain or whatever, you could have a super high risk.
Like, why is he doing this? Why is he going, like, reading the chat while he's doing... I mean, I'm reading the chat, but this is a live stream.
So
this is a pre-recorded video.
$35,000. Sounds great. Does that even exist? I don't... excuse me.
Okay, guys, I have to go soon, so let's just skip
Be
to
to try to
the
get an
end
in real life
and
job,
see
as
what
we
he
kind of
says.
talked about during this stream that I just did. It's not very viable right now because it's not something that I could do like that. Twitch streaming right now full time, I could do like that. YouTube trying to get partnered, I could do like that. I could at least try. But getting another job outside of this, I can't. And the bottom line is the funding
Nothing
for
I
Machinima
can
is cutting
do.
out in the next couple days. So I'm between a rock and a hard place, having to do something that's a quick fix before I can start to look to long-term fixes. Okay. All right. That's the situation I'm in. I want to say thank you to everyone who was here for the stream. Thank you for letting me get it off my chest for these past couple of hours. I feel a little better now, and I think I have a couple ideas of what I'm going to at least.
Okay, so this
steer
was a
toward,
live stream.
Okay. In the next couple of days.
Okay, I get it.
That being said, I have no idea what's going to happen. In a couple of days, I'm not going to have any consistent income anymore. So please, if you do like what I do, you like the live streams, you like
Give
the
me
videos,
money.
you want to see me keep doing this, there's many ways you can help. I mean, some of them, just as a complete coincidence, down here at the bottom of the screen is the new Teespring store. Complete coincidence that launched when all this happened. It was not intentional. It was in the works for a while, and all of a sudden it got ready and launched last night. Completely coincidentally to all this going on. You've also got my Patreon here, and thank you to everyone who does already do that. Obviously, subbing to my Twitch and bit cheering and stuff like that helps me tremendously.
Okay, I think that's about enough of that for the moment. I actually sent him a suggestion by email, which he, of course, never responded to. It's weird that no ads played for that. I don't have ad block on or anything. So this has only gotten 3,000 views so far. Wow, I must be, like, really ahead on this one. I guess I, like, have one of the earliest detractor channels to come to this. But, yeah, so that was DSP hopefully turning his life around. Maybe. I don't know what to say about it. Is he being sincere? Does he finally realize how fucked he is? Is he demonstrating a bit of humility? Is this all just a lie to get people like me to try to take some pity on him? I don't really know, to be perfectly honest, nor do I think we really can know. All I'm going to say is this whole situation is just toxic for everybody involved, and it's really just sad. So I just like to say thank you everybody for showing up. I love all of you guys. You guys are great. I have great chat, and the chat always makes doing this a lot of fun. It's really why I do it. I like interacting with the chat. So just a big thank you to you guys. I'll eventually get back to producing quality content. I said I wasn't going to for a couple days, but this happened. So hopefully my mouth will get better soon. So have a good evening, everybody, and I'll talk to you later.